Hi everyone, thank you so much for connecting today. Today in Latinx Chats, I'm going to be interviewing Yesenia, who is the creator of Proud Chicana and also Latinx Awareness. So I'm going to go ahead and add her on here so we can get this conversation going. Thank you so much for all the love and support and for hopping on here to hear her story today. I'm going to add her on here so we can get this live going. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and add her on here so we can chat away. Hi, Yesenia.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Good. I know we were having kind of a little bit of technical difficulties, but we were able to fix it.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So thank you so much, Yesenia, today for hopping on here and sharing your story with us. And why don't we just kind of dive into it? Does that work with you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, awesome. So first off, who is Yesenia? Where are you from? Where are your parents from? And kind of all that.
So I was born in Huntington Park, California. I was raised in South Central LA and also in Michoacán, Mexico. So
Woo!
that's where my parents are from.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been kind of back and forth from Mexico to here. I was 9 years old when I went to live to Mexico, and then I came back about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And I think that's kind of the idea as to why maybe you chose your title, right? The aquí y de allá. I think the idea of kind of like maybe you are from here, but you're also from Mexico in a sense, and having that dual identity, right?
Yeah. It's often like when I was there, I sometimes felt like I'm not Mexican enough for
Okay.
some people, but here I'm too Mexican. So it's like, where am I really from then if I'm not from here or from there? Ni de aquí ni de allá. But I, after attending or having several Chicano studies classes, I've
Mm-hmm.
learned about more about my identity, and I am like, soy de aquí, soy de allá.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you're both. I also can
Yeah,
relate to that too. Being a San Diegan and kind of being in the border town and being Mexican, and having this dual like identity definitely brings you kind of that idea. O sea, una vez es como que eres mexicana, acá muy mexicana y allá no tanto, and like it's this whole battle, right? But I think at the end of the day, I think we have to celebrate that we're able to have these two sides of us, right? That we're able to have these identities and appreciate both sides and all that they bring, right? So I think that's the awesomeness of having two cultures, two identities that we can relate to in a sense, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And so why don't we talk a little bit about how it was for you growing up in LA? The culture traditions on your Mexican identity side of things, was that kind of easy for you to navigate and showcase in LA? I know there's so many people, so many Latinos and Latinas and Latinx folks in LA. So I'm sure some experiences were kind of easy to be able to showcase that on your side. But how was that for you growing up there?
So when I was little, um, when I was in elementary school, I had like a lot of friends that were Latinos, Latinas, or Latinx, and I, at first, I did not know English,
Mm-hmm.
and neither my parents did. So it was a struggle to learn it, but somehow my mom figured it out and helped me learn it. She used to buy books and different things to help me.
Wow.
So all that helped me like, okay, I need to learn the language and I can do it, even
Yeah.
though I was very young.
Mhm.
And when I returned 4 years ago, after having had lived 9 years in Mexico,
Mhm.
I was struggling with English. I was like, okay, now how am I supposed to adapt here again? It's different things from when I was 9 years old.
Mhm.
Everything has changed. Um, but I started, I think what helped me was getting involved in college, um, at the community college. Then I transferred, and I've been more involved since then. And I
Mm-hmm.
think all of those things have helped me um, feel more confident in my identity,
Mm-hmm.
especially with some of the clubs I'm involved, like Mecha and Hermanas Unidas.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's been really amazing, the journey.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And in terms of, for example, you wanting to attend college, being a first gen student or first generation from your family to attend college, how has that been for you? I mean, I know coming from Mexico and then like diving into college and then being a first generation and not really having someone else that can kind of guide you through the process. How was that for you? Because for me, I mean, it was really tough. Like I had to kind of just navigate it all on my own. I was also a first gen student. So like it was just really hard to understand the process, understand the system, how it works. And so, how was that for you? Because I know you went to community college and then transferred. So, can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I went to a community college,
Mhm.
El Camino College, if anyone is familiar or went there.
Yeah.
Um, then I transferred to CSU Dominguez Hills. And it was at first, when I got at El Camino, I was like, wow, what am I supposed to do? What am I doing here? I
Yeah.
don't know what to do. So I started like, at first, I don't even know. I didn't even know what I was doing. And still, sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? But I think what helped me, as I mentioned before, was getting involved.
Hmm.
And even though when I was at the community college, I wasn't involved as much as I'm now. Um, so it was even more stressful at the
Hmm.
beginning. Uh, but I think with all the amazing advisors I had, was the what really helped me. And
Hmm.
after transferring, like learning all about the resources on campus, that's what really um, helped me transition and find support as a first generation student.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's honestly a lot of, I mean, a lot of us Latinos, Latinas, Latinx folks, we tend to have like this drive, right? To feel like we can do this, we can figure it out, and have that persistence and consistency of we're going to make it work somewhere or another, and we're going to try to figure it out one way. Because we have so much pressure in a sense. I don't know if this was your case, but I felt like I had so much pressure from family. Like, you're going to college, you definitely are going to graduate, you're definitely are going to get a career. And so being so kind of having that in the back of my mind to not only worry about classes, graduate, right? Like all these things, but also family and that kind of in a somewhat pressure, but in a way it was positive, right? Because they want the best for you. And I think a lot of us can relate to that idea of, we're all trying to make it work somewhere or another when we're in these spaces that we're trying to navigate on our own in a way and finding ways to make it work. So I don't know if that was your experience or not.
Yeah, it's often like, yeah, I feel pressure in the way that, okay, I have to make my parents proud and know that all,
Yeah.
and let them know that all their sacrifices are paying off. Uh,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it's just like I do it for myself to,
Hmm.
so, and yeah, to support my family as well. But yeah, sometimes it is that pressure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And in college, so do you mind just sharing with us what you studied, what you're studying now, in terms of that?
Yeah, so when I was at Elko, I got three associate's degrees, one in psychology and Spanish, and um, general studies with an emphasis on culture and communication. And
Mm.
currently, I'm studying. This is my last year at Dominguez Hills. My major is psychology with a minor in Chicana studies.
Nice, nice. And do you mind sharing with us kind of what's been your drive? Because for me, obviously, my family, obviously, myself, right? And kind of trying to improve myself and be a better human and learn and get educated, right? And have a better future. But what's been kind of your drive? What's been your motivation to kind of keep pushing? Because it gets rough in so many, like in so many levels sometimes. In college, it's not easy. So what's been kind of that drive for you?
Yeah, it's been also my family.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, want to let them know that all their sacrifices have paid off, and I want to support them as much as I can, as just like return some of what they have given to me during all these years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also as a psychology major, I want to help people in their mental health journey, especially people of color, and become a bilingual therapist to destigmatize mental health in our communities, because I know that it's really stigmatized, that people think that it's that going to therapy is only for crazy people.
Yeah.
So, or if they often tell you, or when I say I'm a psychology major, they're like de lo quiero. And so it's all that stigma, and I want to help destigmatize the mental health in our communities.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's so huge, Jess. And I think that's awesome that you have that bigger why and that bigger purpose of why you're doing this, and the you're able to see the need, right, that our community needs in a sense, and be able to, especially with mental health, it's so crucial nowadays, right? It's always been, right? But like now it's more talked about, it's more kind of a thing where folks, especially in our communities, tend to be more open about, and especially within men and other groups that possibly may not always be so open to sharing what their mental health experiences are and their struggles. So I think that's awesome that you see that need, and then you're willing to give back to our community, because I honestly feel like there's just so much need in that, and so many other ways as well. But I think it goes to show that there's definitely that demand, and I think that's great that you already have kind of a mindset of what you want to go for and what you want to service. And I think that's cool that you're willing to give back to our community, because I feel like that is definitely one of those areas where we definitely need to improve.
Yeah, and also I the reason that I created Latinx awareness was to talk about this, as well as how social issues impact our communities, and how these also affect mental health. So that's one of the main reasons that I created that Instagram back in
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well as also because it was during the pandemic, and a lot of us, if not most of us, felt like lack of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I feel like waking up with a quote or something that empowers you is just makes you feel better or have a better day. So that's
Yeah.
why I always in the morning try to post a quote or something that may empower someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll definitely touch a little bit more on these projects that you created. But honestly, yeah, it goes a long way. What you could pretty much provide in terms of content and things like that, it can go a long way for a lot of folks that are going through their mental journeys and are going through struggles and issues in their personal lives. And it's crazy sometimes how even in my account here with Mundo Latinx, and how I sometimes shared certain content, and it just resonates with people, and it makes them feel like that they belong, and it makes them feel like they're somewhat being heard, and in a sense being kind of talked to and acknowledged. And I think a lot of people love that, and I think it goes a long way for a lot of folks, especially when they're struggling in life in different ways. And the fact that we're able to do that and kind of be there for those people, I think that's awesome. So keep doing what you're doing, but we'll dive a little bit more into detail about well, you mentioned like why you started Latinx awareness, and essentially, I mean, you really do motivate folks in your account to, with your content and all, to truly dive into like the mental health and look into things in the positive side of things. But what motivates you? Of course, you're all into psychology, and that's your major, and your program, right? But and your interests, but essentially what motivates you, because sometimes I guess in psychology some things can be kind of draining in a sense, dealing with emotions and dealing with kind of always fulfilling maybe someone's like mental issues or challenges, or how people feel. So how is it that you manage that? Like how do you go about always staying motivated and showcasing like the positive of psychology and mental health all the time?
I think it's just like my goal of helping others. I love
Mm-hmm.
helping others, so that's what like makes me keep going, about
Mm-hmm.
thinking just about how I can support my community.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's like one of my motivations, supporting the community.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, yeah, you're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, we definitely need a lot of that. So, I know a lot of people really appreciate it, whether they reach out to you and let you know or not. I know there's a lot of people that support these kinds of accounts and this type of content because it's very real, right? Like mental health, and especially within our community and Latinx folks. Like I said, there's definitely that need to reach out to them, to really gear them in and let them know, hey, like if you really need help, like there's people, there's resources, there's services that you can, have. And so it's great that you have this kind of space for folks to kind of go to and have someone that they can kind of like in a sense have as a kind of like as a mentor or as a guide or as a um, kind of like guidance throughout their experience and with mental health. So I think that's awesome, and keep doing what you're doing. Now, in terms of creating your Proud Chicana account, can we talk a little bit about that? How did that start? How did that begin?
So it actually began when I started doing jewelry when I was about 3, 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so at that time, my mom used to make some bracelets for her friends. Coming from a low income family at that time, she couldn't buy any expensive gifts. So in return, she would give them a bracelet. Like they say, la voluntad lo que cuenta.
Claro.
So yeah, it would be that gift. And I used to see her doing the bracelets, and I used to sit next to her so that she could teach me how to do them. And
Oh.
at first, my dad didn't agree because he thought that I was going to put the beads in my mouth. But of course, my mom was always taking care of me when I would like try to do them. And whenever she was gone for like do something, she would just hide them from me so that I couldn't, yeah, get them. But yeah, she ended teaching me, and at that time, she also used to do like yard sales.
Mm.
She also makes clothes, so she used to like make outfits for little girls. And whenever I just like made a bracelet, and she used to hang it with the outfit, and at the end she would give me $1 for it, and I was like so
Ah.
happy with it. And even when someone asked me, what are you going to be when you grow up, I used to say, voy a ser pulserera. I know I didn't know it was in a word, but it just like, I guess I wanted to be like a businesswoman selling jewelry.
Yeah. Oh.
And yeah, so then after a while, we went to live to Mexico, and there I continued doing jewelry for my friends and also selling them. And when I even when I was in middle school. I stopped when I entered high school. I don't know, maybe I was just like more like, I guess I had fear that I was going to get in
In
trouble
trouble?
or so,
Yeah.
yeah. So I stopped, and when I returned back to the US, I was like, I want to start doing jewelry again, but I don't have any idea how to start this. And I'm like, no, I don't know how to. And then in May, I was like, I've been wanting to start this for about
Oh
4
my
years, and I'm just like, no, no, and I need to do research on how to start it. And I reached out to a friend that was also um, doing starting a business.
God.
It's Stella Cosmetics. In case you want to follow her, she also does jewelry. She helped me, or she has helped me a lot through the process. And so we, so I started it, and it was in June 2nd, I believe, when I
Mhm.
started doing it, and I started only with jewelry. For example, I have this kind of this series that
Mm.
still have not are not in the Etsy shop, but will be soon. Like this bracelet, and so I started doing jewelry, and then I was like, I want to add more things, and I started adding like shirts, and different things that celebrate our culture, and like shirt, like tops that are like Mexican. For example, I have this one here. Give me a second. I can. I'm holding my phone with the other hand so I can show it correctly. But you can see them on
Oh
on my
wow.
Etsy shop, and so they're there. Sorry, I can't show it. I'm
You're fine.
hoping, yeah. So yeah, I have a lot of other things, and I'm stickers, keychains, and more. So, and I'm planning to add more things as time passes.
Hmm.
But yeah, like my main focus has still been jewelry. But sometimes with school and my other job, it's kind of like I don't have all that time. But I'm trying my best to catch up.
Yeah. Well, you're doing great. That's awesome that you have this type of merchandise that, like you said, it's handmade. You're doing this. You really love this. You really love to showcase all that you could make, right? And be able to provide that to folks. But also to tie it into our culture, right? And also tie it into your upbringing and how you learned how to do this with your mom in terms of the jewelry and how this is also helping you now
Yeah.
with your current life, right? And it's essentially how you're kind of also able to somewhat gain some funds from this as well. So I think that's awesome. And again, Yesenia, I think you showcase kind of like the typical Latina that's very just a hustler, trying to make it work one way or another. You're not only just stuck to just doing one thing, right? You're finding ways, and you're trying to look for different things that you can do to better yourself, right? And although it may not always be as easy, I think the fact that you're willing to kind of just dive into it, and like people are saying here, our community has innovative individuals. So yes, like I think there's just so much opportunity that's out there, and we really do try our best and to kind of make it somewhere or another to innovate and do all kinds of great stuff. So honestly, keep doing what you're doing. I think that's great that you have found that passion uh, to share with the world. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
And so, what would be kind of your next goals for both Latinx awareness and also for your Proud Chicana project?
So for Latinx awareness, one of my goals is to keep motivating people, and also inspiring and to take action
Mm-hmm.
and share, like take action in regards to speak about mental health,
Mm-hmm.
and also about social issues, and share resources when I can, And for my proud Chicana is to grow my business. And also I want to, one of the reasons, yeah, I use it as a hobby and because I've done this for years, but also because I want to attend grad school and hopefully next year. And I want to save money for it. And
Yeah.
so
You see?
that's that's one of the other reasons why I started. Like I needed that money.
Yeah. Oh, you see, and that's awesome. I think that's why I do these kinds of lives. This is why I love sharing people's stories because there's always that bigger purpose. And we really are people and individuals that are really trying to make it work one way or another. And we're trying to better ourselves for our future generations. And so that's awesome that you're really seeking to, to grow as a professional, as a student, as an individual. And so you're really making it work. So I think that's awesome. And keep doing what you're doing, Yesenia. I think that you really do inspire, and I'm sure you inspire a lot of folks and Latinas, hopefully, to know that it is tough, right? The journey is not always easy, but it's definitely doable if you work at it hard, right? If you are able and manage to kind of make stuff work. It's not, like I said, it's not always going to be easy, but people make it happen. So this is definitely, you are one of the examples.
Thank you.
Yeah, so before we finish our live today, I wanted to ask you, what's kind of that advice that's worked for you? That's kind of como ese consejo, like any kind of advice that you could give our Latinx community that has worked for you in all kinds of different levels within your life.
So one of the advice is never give up, even if someone tells you tú no puedes.
Yeah,
Don't no les hagan caso. You can do it.
yeah.
Um, you can do whatever you set your mind to, even if it seems impossible. Nothing is impossible when you really work hard for it.
Yes. You go, girl. Yes, I can definitely agree 100%. I think at the end of the day, if you really want it that bad, you'll definitely make it work. And at the end of the day, it is your goal, it is your dream. So go for it. Don't let people stop you, right? I think that's crucial for folks to know. Que si no te deja la mamá, el papá, like if it's your thing, it's your thing. So go for it.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to play this game with you before we head out. That's called This or That. So it's going to be kind of like a Mexican version of it. So I'm going to give you two options. You're going to choose which one you would prefer.
Okay.
So here we go. So what does Yesenia prefer? Do you prefer to eat tacos or to eat flautas?
Tacos.
Tacos. What kind?
Al pastor y de asada.
Nice. Good choices. Great. Okay. In terms of your alcohol beverage, do you like margaritas or do you like mojitos better?
Actually, I don't drink.
Okay. So how about sodas or flavored waters or like like for example, horchata or Jamaica?
Horchata.
Horchata. Okay. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. What about novelas or movies? What's kind of your go-to?
Um, I think novelas.
Novelas. Okay, nice. Keeping it real. Alrighty. And in terms of traveling, do you prefer to go to places that are cold or do you prefer to go to places that are hot?
Cold. I
Cold.
prefer
Okay.
the winter. Yeah.
Okay, you prefer winter. Okay, good to know. And in terms of dancing, I don't know if we like dancing or not, but as a true like Mexican, we love that. So I don't know in your case, but do you prefer dancing salsa or banda, for example?
Banda.
Banda, okay, nice. That's a good choice. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so, so much, Yesenia. Thank you everyone for connecting with us today. Thank you so much, Yesenia, for sharing your story, for doing what you're doing. Keep doing that, keep pushing, and keep inspiring. Honestly, there's so much need for all that you showcase and all that you provide. So thank you so much again. And if people were to want to find your accounts, how can they find you?
So my Latinx awareness, it's just Latinx awareness, no underscore or anything.
Hmm.
So for my Proud Chicana, it's Proud Chicana underscore.
Okay. And and your Etsy's, Etsy
Uh,
accounts and
yeah, for Etsy, it's there on the link.
okay.
For yeah, you can also I did like a subscription for mailing list.
Hmm.
And I am planning to send out some discounts or just simply some motivational emails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, the link is also in the bio.
Okay, yeah. So I'll go ahead and tag your accounts in the post. But thank you so much, everyone, for connecting with us. Yesenia, you're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. And thank you so much again for sharing your story today with us.
Thank you.
Cuídate mucho. Take care,
Igualmente.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.